My name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners. I hope this is working out. We're live, and I'm going to talk about first of all, it's that time of the year that many people think about getting a dog and getting a puppy. I'm going to talk about that, and also I'm going to answer your questions. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners, and also teach dog owners to train their dogs without the use of treat, food, aversive tools like shock collars, prong collars, without the use of force, without the use of domination. Instead, I'm teaching you to learn how to train your dog using play and praise as a reward system. So basically, you're going to be using play and praise to reward your dog, and that is the best and most healthy way of training your dog. If you're live with me here, feel free to ask your questions live, and I'll ask you and I'll answer your questions as well. It's November 11, 2019. It's a Remembrance Day in Canada, at least, and we are remembering our soldiers or members who have lost their lives saving our country, our lives actually, and we're remembering them. And I am here in my office, and I'm going live, and I'm going to talk about whether you should get a puppy or a dog for Christmas. Christmas is just around the corner, and many people are thinking and they're deciding whether they should get a dog or a puppy. I'm going to talk about a little bit more in details about this, whether you should get a dog or puppy or not. But the thing is that one of the things that I want you to focus on is around this time of the year, we think about getting a puppy or a dog as a gift to somebody. The problem that I have is if you're thinking of getting a puppy or a dog as a gift for somebody or yourself, it's kind of a way of looking at it from selfish point of view, self point of view, rather than thinking about the puppy or the dog. So I want you to think about what you can offer to the puppy or a dog. And it doesn't have to be Christmas time. It can be any time that you're able to get a dog. I'll share with you some information when is the best time to get a dog in a moment. But at this time of the year, you want to think about what is the most important thing that you care about around this time. Christmas is a time that you are thinking about family, and you're gathering with you're either bringing people to your home or you're going and visiting other people somewhere else. So the idea here is the dog is not going to have a good experience, and it's not going to have a good opportunity to be raised in that environment. Christmas time is usually a time that we're busy with family members, we're busy with things that we're doing, which is basically celebrating, partying, gifts, and there are so many things going on that, in my opinion, it's not the ideal time to get a puppy or a dog. Now, if you disagree or agree with me, let me know in the chat line. What do you think? Is this a good time to get a puppy or a dog or not? You tell me as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask your questions live. Earlier, I tried to go live. I had scheduled to go live, and for some reason, didn't work. I had to start a new stream. So the old stream that I had set up already didn't work for some reason. This YouTube is making it more complicated than it should be. I have to try to figure out how to use that. I don't know why it didn't work. I don't usually go live. That's, I think, one of the issues that I have. Don't go live enough to figure these things out. But I'll figure it out, and I'm going to try to go live as much as possible to answer your questions and talk about one-on-one But dogs, I want to talk about dogs. I want to educate you and make you become an educated dog lover, so you make the right decision and make the right choices when it comes to you and your dog. So Christmas time in general, I think is not a good time. Now, in this part of the world, Christmas, around Christmas, it gets cold, it gets rainy, it gets snowy. It's just too much going on from weather-wise. It's just too cold, too much going on. So I think in a way, it's just not ideal environment to raise a puppy. Just because one, because of the weather. Now wherever you are, by the way, let me know where you are from, and let me know if it's around this time. Do you get snow? Do you get rain? Do you get cold? Do you get the Christmassy feel and atmosphere in your part of your wherever you are? In Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, it gets really cold, it's snowy, and it becomes, most of the times we have rainy Christmas. Some years we had white Christmas, so it snows sometimes, but it's not ideal. It's too much for me, for example, to take my dog to the park just because it's pouring rain all the time. So that's one of the reasons. So we have Joshua. Joshua says, "Hi, Saro. My family just got a beagle puppy last week. We are having a hard time with potty training. We live in Alberta, so there is lots of snow. Any tips for potty training in winter?" Sure, I'll share some tips with you, Joshua. Tommy Henakop, I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. Thank you for being here. Fabian C is here. Hi, says hi. Tommy is saying hello from Ohio. Very good. Fabio says, what about obedience training in winter weather? Good question. Tammy is in the house, says yes. Thank you for being here, everybody. And let me ask you answer one of the questions first. And we have Wonder in Blanket is in the house. This I remember you. Hello from Los Angeles. Very good. So I know, for example, in Los Angeles they don't get white Christmas. They're, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. The weather is always nice there. So weather is number one reason why I don't suggest to get a puppy or dog during this Christmas time. Now Joshua has got a puppy and a beagle puppy. Very exciting. That is my dream is to have puppies all the time, beagle puppies. But you're asking about having a hard time potty training. And in Alberta, it snows all the time. The part that um, I have problem with when you get a puppy in the winter, that's the problem. The weather is just one of the obstacles that it comes, especially when it comes to potty training a puppy. So the reason I'm saying the weather is the problem is because you're going to have a hard time, first of all, potty train that puppy because of the weather. You have to understand that puppies and dogs in general, they don't want to they don't want to do their business inside of the house where they live, where they are eating, where they are sleeping, where uh, their home is. They don't want to do their business there. And if you force them to do it, they will have accidents, and which is not normal, which is not ideal. You want the puppy and the dog to do its business outside. Most dogs, they want to do their business outside, away from their home. So even some dogs have a hard time, some puppies and some dogs have a hard time they do to do their business even in the yard of your house yard. That's because again, it's too close to their home. Um, Most dogs, they like to be, at least I would say, it's hard to say measure wise, but maybe a block away from the house they're living, something like that. So they want to go out and do their business. That's normal. That's very natural way of potty training a puppy and a dog. So literally, you have to take your puppy outside. So one of the techniques that I have, and this is a very simple technique, and it works with every dog, it works with every puppy, and it's matter of investing the weekend in your puppy, and it will be done. Within 2 days, you could potty train your puppy as long as those you invest those 2 days to your puppy. So number one thing that I want you to do is invest uh, in the weekend. Select a weekend, maybe, let's say maybe next weekend. Just say, you know what, I'm going to focus on the puppy. And Tammy is saying a follow up says, I put a doggy door in the back door to the backyard. Yeah, the doggy door usually doesn't work. Also, just because they still don't know what the routine is, what the schedule is, what the plan is, what the rules are. You have to train that to a dog for them to learn to do it. So basically, here's the plan: what you have to do for the weekend, for the 2 days, within 48 hours, you could potty train your puppy. So here's what you're going to do: you're going to invest the 48 hours in your puppy to potty train it, and you're gonna every 2 hours you're gonna take your puppy outside. You're gonna take it maybe in the backyard. Try the backyard. Your puppy may be okay in the backyard. Some dogs, as I said, some puppies are sensitive. They want to go further than that. So distance is the issue. They like to do it as far as possible to their den, to their home, to their living place. So try the backyard. If you see that you're not getting results in the backyard, maybe literally you have to open the door and go out of the house, out of the backyard, and go and step it outside and let it do its business outside. So that could be not a problem. The other thing that you should do is every 2 hours, as I said, you're going to take your puppy out. Whether your puppy has to go out or not, you're taking your puppy out every 2 hours. Every 2 hours or after every feeding, let's say breakfast, lunch, dinner, after every feeding, after every playtime, before and after sleeping, right? Before and after any activity that your puppy is doing, you take your puppy out. Literally put the coat on, put the boots on, even if it's snowing, take it somewhere that your puppy can do its business, whether the snow is cleared or you have to clear the snow. Unfortunately, that's what you get in this time of the year. You take your puppy there, you let it do its business. You wait there for 3, 4, 5 minutes. You wait until your puppy does its business. If it does it, great, praise it. Good boy, good girl. Yes, yes, yes. Good boy, celebrate, right? And then if it doesn't, just bring it back. When you bring it back to your home, don't let it off leash. Either keep it in a crate or keep the leash on, attached to you, or hold on to the leash and have your puppy under control wherever you are, whether you're in the kitchen or whether you're in the living room, whether you're in the office, wherever you are, keep that leash attached to you. You want to have control over your puppy. You want to make sure that your puppy is uh, is under control, is not doing its business. And as soon as you see your puppy is acting weird and it wants to either is thinking about pee pee or poo poo, uh, uh, as soon as you see their behavior is changing and they're thinking about doing their business, take it outside. So take it outside, the same spot that you took a while ago. Try it again. See if your puppy is going to do his business there. So this has to go back. It has to be done back and forth every 2 hours, right? You just have to stick with it and just go in and out every 2 hours. Keep your puppy under control on the leash or put it in a crate. Make sure that it's not free to go around and do its business in the house. That's another problem and issue that I see many puppy owners have, that their puppy doesn't do its business outside and comes in. and does it business somewhere in the house, right? They pick up a spot and they do the business. Yes, every 2 hours, because puppies, their bladder, their system is still growing. It's very small. It's still very um, it's very it hasn't developed yet, so they can't hold their pee or poo long enough. So every 2 hours is a good opportunity to let them relieve themselves. Now, the bonus tip that I have in here when it comes to potty training your puppy is it has to do with their diet. If your puppy or dog is being fed kibble or dry food, um, what it happens, they have to drink a lot of water, because when dogs and puppies they eat kibble, they get dehydrated. It's dry food. They get dehydrated naturally. They get dehydrated internally, so they have to replace that moisture that is missing in the kibble or dry food with the water. So they will drink a lot more water than they need. So they will overdrink. They will overdrink, so therefore their bladder gets full faster. They have to pee often. So what happens? They will pee accidentally anywhere, right? And because kibble and dry food is mostly carb, they eat of that. They have to poop a lot more too. So what happens? It becomes a problem when you're potty training your puppy. When you're feeding your dog kibble or dry food, you're trying to uh, potty train your puppy. You're doing everything that you could do, but on the other side, you're feeding your dog kibble or dry food, which is it works against what you're trying to do. So, better solution would be to change the diet. I highly suggest dog owners not to feed kibble or dry food at all to their dogs. It's Kibble and dry food is not a natural species appropriate food for dogs. Instead, I suggest you to make home cooked food for your puppy or feed a raw diet. As soon as you do that, as soon as you change their diet, they have less tendency to pee and poo. They have less tendency to have accidents. And you could stretch the 2 hours even to 3 to 4 hours. Every 3 to 4 hours. You don't have to take them every 2 hours. They don't have the need, urgency to go. So if you change their diet, simply you're helping yourself and your dog not only to have a healthy bowel movement and peeing and urination and all that, but also you're helping yourself not to get frustrated with potty training, and also you're helping your dog to be healthier. When you start feeding non kibble or dry food, homemade or raw diet, you're improving your puppy's health uh, overall. And if you have problem feeding home cook or raw diet, I have tons of videos on my channel that you can go and watch and learn how simple it is, how safe it is, how good it is, how natural it is to feed your dog either home cooked food or raw diet. So I have plenty of videos about home cooked diet, which is basically meat and vegetables. You cook it at home. Simply, that's basically what it is. Or also have plenty of videos about raw diet. I talk about raw diet in details. I've interviewed several uh, important and knowledgeable people about raw diet that you can learn. And also, I show you what I feed my dog. My dog eats raw diet, and for the past 9 years, he's been eating raw diet, and no problems. I have no problem other than good positive results. So the diet, it has a lot to do with your potty training issue too. Yeah, raw diet is very healthy, natural, species-appropriate diet. It not only makes them to feel better, it makes them to live longer, healthier. Many dogs who are on kibble or dry food, they have lots of complications, health issues, which is all related to um, kibble. And recently I did a video about. Let me see if I can get the link for that. I did a video about simply how toxic kibble or dry food is. I'm going to try to get the link and share it with you. Just give me a moment. Yeah, it's so basically, when it comes to potty training, you have to invest at least 2 days to potty train your puppy. And when you do that, once you do that, once you create that schedule, when you take your puppy every 2 hours out and you say you do the business here and your puppy does the business over there, and you praise it and you get the result that you want, your puppy learns, okay, at least I can go out every 2 hours. I can hold my bladder, can hold my stuff for 2 hours, and they will hold it, and they will learn to be um, more routine oriented, and they love that. They love to be routine, right, oriented, and they will follow that routine. And once they start following that routine, you will see that they are getting they're going to hold it even longer as you go along. So maybe watch this video that I'm sharing on the chat line. The link is on the chat line. You can go ahead and watch that video. Yes, Tammy, 2 hours every two for 2 days at night. During the night, the sleep. Yes, you still have to wake up every 2 hours and take your puppy out. That's the hard part. That's why you do it in the weekend, because you can sleep in and you can work around it. Um, that's the hard part. Puppies, they can't hold more than 2 hours. You have to understand that. I mean, as a human being, I mean, most humans, they can't hold their bladder more than 2, 3 hours either. Every few hours you have to go washroom. Just imagine puppies, they have to go every few hours. At night, when they're sleeping, maybe you can stretch it to 3 hours, but you got to get up you don't want the puppy, first of all, to have accidents. You want to prevent it. You want to also teach the puppy um, that here's where you're going to do, here's what you're going to do, here's how you're going to do. You want to teach that. That's called potty training. You want to teach your puppy that I don't want you to have accidents in the house. I'm going to help you. You're going to have your business. You're going to do your business here or there or at this time, anytime I bring you. So you want to teach your puppy to prevent, first of all, prevent for them to have accident, and second of all, teach them what to do. And that is the work that you have to put. Even if you had a baby, you would woken up, when you have baby. I don't have a baby, I haven't had a baby, but that's what it is. You have sleepless nights for months because you're raising a baby. It's a lot of work. Puppies, on the other hand, they learn faster. They're a little bit they mature faster than human babies. So therefore, you can do it within 2 hours, 2 days. But those 2 days, you have to work hard. So choose a weekend and just go for it. Let me see if I'm missing any questions here. Um, can you talk about obedience training? Yes. So Tammy, no, Fabian C is asking about obedience training. So obedience training, basically, I divided in two parts. One is formal training and one is lifestyle training. I'll explain what they are. Formal training is basically training the dog, the obedience in a formal way, which is basically sit, stay, calm. These are the three most important obedience commands that you want to focus on teaching your dog. The rest are important too, but as not as important as these three. Sit, stay calm, heel, stand, and down. These are obedience commands. Now, obedience commands, if you follow, for example, my method of obedience training, I follow a method that is used internationally. So what that means is the method and the hand signals and all the details of this obedience training is taught everywhere in the world the same way. So for example, if we want to teach the dog to sit, we do the hand signal of this. So this is the hand signal for sit, right? So if you go to Japan or if you go to Italy or if you go to Australia, they will do the same thing. Obedience training, they will do the same thing. Now, if you've seen other places, they do this for sit, right, or down. Those are uh, training methods that are used using force or domination, unfortunately. Hand signals, when you see is other than the hand signals that I'm teaching, these are very small group of dog trainers or dog training systems that they are using the old traditional uh, dominance method of dog training. So that's what I want you to keep an eye on and watch. When you see, for example, the down is something like this, they raise their hand up. That's a dominant style of training a dog to lie down. But for for the system that I use, it's this. Can we use this for down? For sit, we use this. For stay, we use this, for example, right? These are hand signals that we use in formal obedience training, and it's used internationally everywhere the same way. So these are the six commands that I just said: sit, stay, come, heel, down, and stand. Also, these are the six commands that are used to train the dog, formal training. Now, training a dog is something that you invest time to teach them each command before you move on to the next command. So you invest, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month, maybe even 2 months to teach the dog a good sit. Sit, for example, is the first one that we teach the dog in its rover sit, right? We teach the dog to rover sit. We use the name of the dog command and the hand signal at the same time. We teach the dog to sit. And what that means is as soon as we say rover, sit, rover's bum touches the ground, right? So as soon as it happens, then you know the dog has learned that when it hears the command of sit, it touches the bum and the ground. So it means the dog has learned what sit is, knows the meaning of the sit. So once the dog learns sit, you go and start add another command, which is stay, right? So you teach the stay command. Now the stay command, it takes a little bit longer because the dog has to learn to stay on the sit command from 10 seconds to even 10 minutes, right? We ask the dog to sit and stay for as long as 10 minutes. So the stay, for example, takes another few weeks or a few months, and then you start adding another command. The problem that I have with this training a dog obedience is that many dog owners, they attend a group class which is 6 weeks, and they think within that 6 weeks the dog learns sit, stay calm, heel, stand, and down. It doesn't happen within 6 weeks. It happens within maybe 6 months or maybe a year that the dog learns all these. So attending a group class, it's not the ideal environment or place to learn, but it's good idea. It gives you a good idea of what it is. But for example, what I do personally, I have an obedience training course online. I have created an online dog training course that it's available now, and I'm actually updating it as well. So you have a year to go and learn and progress through this course. So there's no rush. You start learning one command and you move to the next command and on and on. So you take your time, you take the time to teach your puppy or dog each command before you move on to the next command. And you have a year to use this system. And you don't have to rush. Many dog owners, they rush to train their dog these commands, this obedience, and they think they will get it within 6 weeks. It doesn't happen. Usually it happens within a year to get a dog trained completely. So that's obedience training. And then what you do, for example, you're teaching your dog the sit command, and you're on week 2, you're practicing the sit command with your dog. Now you're going to use formal training. Formal training, this is formal training, this is lifestyle training. You're going to do lifestyle training. You've been doing formal training, you're going to start doing lifestyle training as well. So lifestyle training, what it is basically using whatever you're learning in the formal training in your daily life with your dog. So for example, you're teaching your dog to sit, you start lifestyle training your dog whenever, for example, you keep your dog on a leash at home, and let's say you're in the kitchen, you tell your dog to sit and you do your regular stuff that you do in the kitchen, and your dog is practicing the sit. Let's say you're watching your favorite TV show on the couch. You're sitting and you have the leash in your hand. You're telling your dog to sit. So you're practicing sit with your dog during whatever you're doing, during whatever your dog is involved with you. This is called lifestyle training. And you keep adding commands again. You teach the dog sit and then stay. You practice sit and stay with your dog. So all these things has to come together. So lifestyle training and formal training are feeding off each other. So basically that's what it is. Obedience training basically is teaching a dog a communication system, opening up a communication system between you and your dog, teaching a dog a language that your dog can start getting cues from you. It's very important. This is something that every dog owner should do. Not many dog owners do. Not many dog owners focus on training their dog the basics. They think that the dog learns automatically everything. Some dogs may do. Some dogs, they may automatically pick up things, cues from you, but it's better to make it easier for them and make it faster for them to learn things. So once you start teaching them these basic obedience commands of sit, stay, calm, heel, stand, and down, your dog is going to start learning everything else faster. You're encouraging your dog to learn to learn. You're learning to learn to learn. You know what I mean? You're teaching your dog to learn faster. So that is the benefits of obedience training. I hope that, Fabian, I hope that answered your question. If you have more question and more clarity, let me know. I'll explain a little bit more. So Tammy is saying, say poo poo and pee pee and happy when they do it. Good point. Yes. So when you're potty training your puppy, and you take your puppy to the designated area that you want your puppy to do its business. You take it there, and you say, go poo poo, go pee pee, something like that. You can word it, or you just wait until they do their business, and as soon as they do it, say good boy, good girl, yeah, play with them, praise them. You don't have to literally, I don't like to use treats, for something like that either. You just praise them verbally and emotionally, and get attached to them, get involved with them, get physically and emotionally, celebrate that activity, and tell them that they did a good job. So they will get the point. Oh, if I do my business over here, my mom or my dad celebrates, gets excited. So next time I'll do it again. So that's very important to do it. Yes, Tammy, every 2 hours is very important to take your puppy out. Puppies, unfortunately, they need to go every 2 hours. I never thought of keeping him on a leash inside the house. Great tip. Joshua is saying, yes. One of the other biggest mistakes that dog owners make is they do give a lot of freedom to their dog or puppy. They think if they keep them on leash or confine them or lessen the environment that the puppy or the dog is free, the dog is going to hate them, is going to screw them up. But dogs love small spaces. They love the smallest space, the healthier, the better. So even if you keep your dog on a shorter leash, it's the dog actually likes more than you give them longer leash. I know it's weird. That's how dogs function. That's how dogs work. In human world, we hate to be confined. We hate to be told what to do. We hate to be controlled. But unfortunately, in doggy world, it's the opposite. They love to be told. They love to be told what to do. They love to be shown. They love to be guided. Uh, it's nature. That's how it is. Unfortunately, that's how it is. If you give freedom to your dog is just going to hate it. Your dog is going to get more stressed. So keeping your dog on leash and under control gives that relaxation, gives that anxious-free life. It gives them that calmness that says. So here's how I explain it to my clients and my fellow dog lovers is if you off leash your dog, you say, okay, go ahead and do whatever you want. Your dog has 5 to 10 choices to make. Think about it. Think about that. Dogs, it says, you know what? I can go and bark at that thing. I can go and chew on that thing. I can go and destroy that wire. I can go and eat and do whatever I want with a garbage can. I can go and jump on people. I can go and watch the window outside and bark at whatever it moves. I can do a lot of things, right? You're giving them choices. You're saying, go and do whatever you want. And when you allow the dog to do that, the dog says, wow, it's so stressful because now I have so many things to do. This is too much, right? So it becomes stressful. It becomes anxious. The dog becomes anxious, so it starts developing not only anxiety and stress, but it helps them to develop bad behaviors. But as soon as you put them on a leash or confine them or put them in a crate or control them, the dog has one simple choice to make, which is do what you ask them to do. Which is, for example, we were just talking about it, ask your dog to sit and stay. Watching TV, I'm just going to ask my dog to sit and stay. Your dog has one choice to make, to sit and stay, to listen to you. And that brings your dogs, I can relax. I don't have to think about what to do. I don't have to think about going and jumping on people and barking at people and chewing on things. I can only do one thing. And that gives your dog a great opportunity to relax and not develop bad behaviors, and also focus on developing healthy, good behaviors, the behaviors that you want. Whatever you want your dog to do, it will do. It will do, and because you asked it to do, and your dog is going to be happy to do it for you, and your dog is going to be happy because you made life simpler for it. That makes sense? Hope that makes sense. Um, yes, excellent. Tammy is saying excellent, important information. So you are welcome. Thank you very much. Tammy is saying raw diet. Yes. Uh, Thank you. What he's saying works. Tammy is saying what he's saying works. 2 hours for 2 days. Yes, it works. Yes. Oh yes, I agree. How Joshua is asking how old should a puppy be to begin your online course? My puppy is 9 weeks old. Um, my online course is ideal for any dog 3 months and older. So your puppy is 9 weeks old. Yeah, it's too young still. I would wait until maybe when it's 9 weeks. Uh, wait another 2 or 3 weeks. The problem, the thing that I have is you don't have to really wait. You can start anytime because the course is set up in a way that you can start anytime. You can do it on your own pace. But what I like you to do is maybe join the course and go through the at least the beginning, the few lessons of the course. Those are the important parts of the course. It gives you an idea. It prepares you, because in my opinion, 60% of training is human dog owner training. The other 40% is dog training itself. So the human has to be educated and trained first before the dog is trained. So I start with training the human, the dog owner. So you can start by educating yourself, understanding the concept, understanding the formula, understanding what you need to do. And you can go through the program itself without your puppy and get familiar with it. And then when you see that your puppy is ready to learn that lesson, you start teaching that lesson. So it's very flexible in that way. You don't have to wait until your puppy is in certain age. You have a year to use it. So don't worry about it. You can start anytime. But in general, if I was running a group class and you lived right where I am in my location, and I was running a group class, and you wanted to join my group class, it would be 4 months and older. You're younger than that, it's a puppy class, right? Younger than that, it's a puppy class because puppies are just there to play and socialize. It's not training. Once once they have gone through puppy class, they can go and start formal training. And the classes, when they join, they have to, you have to have some form of information, some form of control over your puppy before you start joining a group class. That's why I'm not very in favor of group classes, because I don't want to say they're bad. It's just that it's too much for the dogs and it's too much for dog owners. What I mean by that, I've ran thousands of group classes, and based on those thousands of group classes, I've learned and I've seen that many dog owners, they get overwhelmed with the information and the, the class structure in general. It's just too much. There's lots of cute dogs in the class. Think of it this way: there's lots of cute dogs in the class. Some of them may be stressed, freaked out. They're barking or shivering or in the corner. Some of them, they're excited to be in the class and they're barking, jumping around and all that. And some of them, they're just hanging there. They just don't know what is going on. Imagine all these dogs in the same environment, and you're trying to give the same information to all these kind of people and dogs. And dog owners are just too overwhelmed with the environment, first of all. You know what I mean? Yes, too much stimulation for everybody, for the dog and the dog owner. The dog owners, like, they're focused on the dogs, their own dog, other dogs. They can't take in information. So in a way, I don't support group classes. I don't see it's a good investment unless you're doing those classes just to let your puppy have a good time, socialization, and you're not learning anything. You're just there to let your puppy to get distracted and use the environment to maybe see if your dog is going to listen to you or not. It's just as a test. But the main training, I think, should be done, either you do online or you hire a private trainer at home. You start building those skills, right? The technical and mental and emotional skills, build those up, and then attend a group class. Unfortunately, not many. No dog owner does that. No dog owner trains the dogs first and then attends a group class. They think by attending a group class, they will get the results they want. And 90% of the time, most dog owners, when they attend group classes, I was one of them many, many years ago. I attended few obedience classes myself with my own dog when I had Jonah the beagle. Let me see if I can point that one, this one. There we go, that one. Yes, Jonah the beagle, my first beagle. I attended two or three classes with him. Two, three group classes style with him. Literally, I got nothing, first of all. Second of all, this is an interesting story. Jonah wasn't interested in food or treats. So that's how I started, developing dog training without the use of treats or food, because Jonah wasn't food or treat motivated. He was motivated by play. And I attended these group classes. First of all, there was lots of things happening. There was just too much going on. Right? I didn't even learn anything. And second of all, because Jonah wasn't food motivated, so I couldn't get his focus on the things that we were teaching with treats. So believe it or not, my homework to go home and do homework wasn't to practice, let's say, sit with my Jonah. My homework was find out what food or treat Jonah is responsive to. Excuse me? Yes, so that was my homework. My homework was to find out what was the food or the treat that Jonah would respond to. And it was too silly for me to comprehend that, because I thought, look, I want to learn how to train my dog, and my homework every week is to find what is attracting Jonah to listen. And Jonah was play oriented, and believe it or not, most dogs are play or praise oriented. They want to get results from you, from your interaction, from the form of play or praise that you provide your dog. And Jonah was like that. I could train him at home using play and praise. Everything. He would learn tricks and training, obedience, everything at home without the treats. I would play with him and I would train him, and he would get it. But as soon as I brought treats, he was like, why are you doing that? Why did you bring the food in? Why did you bring what did you get the food involved in this? We were doing so good. Why did you ruin it? Why do you bring the food or treat to train to use? So that's where the light bulb went on, and I started focusing on learning about how to train dogs without the use of food or treats. Because every training course that I signed up to train Jonah, it was treat oriented. You had to have treats, you had to have the bag to carry the treats, you had to be having two types of treats. One was low reward, one was high reward. I mean, I was focused on things that didn't really matter, things that didn't really mean anything. I had to focus on my dog, my relationship, rather than the food. So that is the beginning of the concept of dog training without the use of treats or food or even aversive tools, force or domination. And this was many years ago. Uh, I would say at least 18 years ago. Yes. So that's how it started. So um, yeah, too much stimulation for everybody. They are like kids. Yes, Tammy. Yes, when you are in that environment, you can't focus. As an adult, and I see when I run the courses, uh, there are several types of dog owners. One of them is the type that they get bored and they start napping during the class. Ah, I'm tired. I don't have time to learn this stuff. They start napping. The other ones are the ones that they are just distracted with everything. They see every puppy cuteness, every dog moving around playing, and they're listening, and all the information that comes in goes out of their ear, their head. There are those who are just like like panic, like they're frozen. They don't know what is going on, and they don't know what to do, not to do. And there are certain very few students who pay really good attention, but because the course is developed with it for 6 weeks, they can't catch up. Even the smart people, they can't catch up. Uh, Tammy is saying you know a lot about dog behavior or new season meal. Thank you. Yes. Well, in a way, I have a lot of experience with dogs, but the thing is that I learned one of my first teachers was Cesar Millan, but I regret connecting myself to Cesar Millan in a way, because Cesar Millan, he started his method. If you know this, if you happen to know his story, he started with he's still in that concept of dog training using domination, a pack mentality. He was very aggressive when he was training dogs. I don't know if you know this or you've heard of or seen stories that he was poking the dogs, he was choking the dogs, he was kicking the dogs. He was very aggressive when he was training dogs. And in the past few years, I would say maybe 3, 4, 5 years, that he changed his method. He realized that that's gonna fire back. So he got a lot of hate from people who didn't like his method, his system, and he got backfired from all these people. In that level that he had to change his method of training. So now he's more gentle. Uh, he's more careful about how and what he does with the dogs. He even has gone to that level that he's using treats. Yeah, he's using treats. He's gone to that state of mind that he's even using treats to train dogs. Now, one of the first things that I learned was dog energy. I mean, I learned about dogs from him. I mean, it's not that I mirror my dog training based on him, but he was one of the uh, dog trainers that gave spark to my passion. I came across this is a very long time ago, 2006, I would say. I came across an article in and Time magazine or something like that, and it was about him. And I got really interested in the concept that he had. So I started reading his book, and that's how I kind of figured out, okay, this is the path that I want to take. I quit my business that I was doing, and I started focusing on training dogs and started learning about not only from Cesar Millan, but all the dog trainers, all the known and unknown dog trainers. I read books. I went to a dog training course. Dog training course without using the food and treats. It's called the International College of Canine Behavioral Science. I went and I studied for a year to get certified. I did a lot of, I invested a lot of time and knowledge to learn about dogs. I also run a doggy daycare, so I am with dogs all the time. I see them, I learn from them, I work with them. I work with dog owners and dogs, so I learned a lot from them. And do you ever have to punish dogs? Wonder in the Blanket says, do you ever have to punish dogs? If so, how do you normally go about doing that? Very good question. I don't punish the dog the way you think. I use I use knowledge to punish a dog. So what I mean by that is I punish the dog, but using the training. So what I mean by that is if I teach a dog, let's say sit, stay, come. Let's say I've gone through that. I teach the dog sit, stay, come. So I know that this dog now knows at least sit, stay, come. It knows it. Now, if you go outside and it starts barking at another dog or doing something that is unwanted, and I want to kind of help the dog stop that behavior, so you have to understand there are two things that you need to do. You have to teach the dog yes and no, positive and negative. So the dog has to learn in general that life in general is good and bad. There is not always good and there is not always bad. Life is not bad all the time. Life is not good all the time. There's always good and bad. So you have to teach the dog yes and no. So I teach the dog yes, good boy, good girl, yeah, I celebrate. And I teach the dog no. No means I teach the dog a word cue, which no, I use no, which represents to the dog that I have to stop that behavior. I don't, I can't do that behavior. So I teach the dog no. How do I teach the dog no? If for example, I have videos on my channel. If I play with the dog, I start playing with the dog, and if I'm playing with the dog is in positive mode, play mode. I teach the dog that here's how we're gonna play. Stop and play. Stop, play, stop, play. Stop means no, play means good. Positive, negative, right? Am I making sense? Um, so you teach the dog everything in a positive point of view, and negative becomes no. No is a verbal cue that I teach to a dog that it means don't do that behavior. So I teach no, plus I teach sit, stay, come, right? And if we go to a place and he starts barking at something, right? It starts doing something that is unwanted. What I would do is I would say to the dog, since you know sit, stay, calm, what I would do, I would train the dog. I'll do a mini training session with the dog. Sit, stay, calm, sit, stay, calm, sit, stay, calm. We'll repeat this training. Let's say as soon as he barks, I'll do sit, stay, calm with the dog. So the dog says, what am I teaching the dog? Is says, if I bark, my human is going to make me do sit, stay, calm training. I'm going to be training my dog instead of punishing. This is a punishment to the dog. From My point, I'm punishing the dog, but from dog's point of the dog says, if I do this behavior, barking for whatever it is, my human makes me do sit, stay calm. And I will do that for 5 minutes until the dog stops. I do this often. As soon as the dog barks, I do the sit and stay and calm. And the dog says, every time I bark, my human makes me do sit and stay calm. Next time, I'm going to avoid that. I'm going to try to avoid going through this sit, stay calm, because every time I bark, I have to go through this. So I punish the dog using training. And when I use training to sit, stay calm, when I use that training session with my dog, not only I'm punishing the dog, I'm teaching, I'm even making sure that my dog practices more sit, stay calm, sit, stay calm. Is it making sense? Very good question. Yes, Tammy, I'm very happy that Wonder in the Blanket asked this question. Great question. Yes. Um, you're welcome. Yeah, it's something that I don't need to punish the dog. When we talk about punishment, we're thinking about aggression. We're thinking about negative things. We're thinking about we have to physically or emotionally punish the dog so the dog stops that behavior. One of the things that I always suggest is when your dog is doing some behavior that is unwanted, I want to highlight this: unwanted. When it's unwanted behavior, it doesn't mean that the dog is doing that behavior to piss you off. I want you to be clear about it. I want you to understand it's not doing it to piss you off. It's not doing it to ruin your life. There is a reason why the dog is doing that unwanted behavior. The reason for that is because maybe that other dog is stressing your dog. Maybe that environment is stressing your dog. Maybe that situation is stressing your dog, and your dog is communicating that feeling with barking, with growling, with wanting to be physical with other dog because it's stressed. The situation is making your dog to get stressed, to be anxious, and it's communicating to you by barking, misbehaving, doing whatever it does. Whatever it does is a communication to you. It's a communication system to you. Your dog is telling you how it feels. Now, that is not the time to punish the dog. If your dog is communicating to you and you punish the dog is going to say, you know what, I'm not going to communicate to you anymore. Because when I communicate, I get punished. Punished in a way that you physically, hurt the dog, or emotionally, or mentally, you hurt the dog. That's what Cesar Millan used to do. Physically and emotionally used to damage the dog. That's what the problem was. That's what the problem is, actually. Many dog owners, they see their dog doing something that's unwanted, and they punish the dog for communicating that to them. So I highly suggest you, when your dog is misbehaving, first of all, don't get emotional, don't get aggressive, don't get angry, don't get anxious. Know, first of all, that your dog is communicating to you, is telling you that that dog or that environment or that situation is making me stress or making me excited, making me whatever, making me fear, making me get this way, get that way, feel that way, is telling you that's how it's feeling. And your job is to listen to your dog. So that's how dogs communicate, right? Just imagine if you have a kid and your kid is scared of, let's say, roller coaster, and says, "Mommy, Daddy, oh, I don't want to go on a roller coaster." Say, "No, you go on a roller coaster. You go on it." Your kid next time is going to say, "When I get scared, my parents actually force me to do it, so I'm not going to share my emotions with them anymore. I'm going to hate my parents." I don't want to talk to them anymore. That's how you disconnect yourself from your kids or your dog. When your dog is emotionally communicating to you and you punish the dog. So I don't punish the dog. You shouldn't be punishing anybody. You shouldn't be punishing a dog, because the dog, whatever is doing to communicate to you and tell you how it feels emotionally, mentally, physically. I mean, for example, I'm scared of heights. I have a fear of heights, and to make fun of that, and uh, to make me force me to go and face my fear, it's not going to help me. I have to learn how to deal with that fear of heights. So I am trying, actually, I have been trying to help myself to get over that fear slowly, because nobody's pushing me, nobody's telling me, hey, you gotta face the fear. You're a chicken if you don't go on a hike. So sometimes when I'm in a situation that there's a height that I know it fears me, it makes me feel bad, I push myself, because I can control, okay, I can go this much and I can move away. I went this much this time. Next time I can go that much. Next time I can go that much. I can control that. But if you force or punish a dog or somebody or a human to do and face the fear, they will panic. They will shut down. They're not going to learn anything. They're not going to benefit from that. So punishment is not suggested when it comes to training a dog or anything. I think in general, you shouldn't be thinking about punishment. If you are thinking about punishment, you're already putting in negative energy in your mind, in your soul, in your heart. You're thinking about causing some form of pain, either physical or emotional, to something. When you're putting that energy in your soul and your mind, in your body, you're not beneficial, you're not helpful, you're not in positive mode. So punishment, first of all, shouldn't be in your vocabulary. And if you're going to think about punishment, think about it, how can you turn this punishment in a positive form that your gives your dog a benefit from it, makes your dog to learn something out of it. So what I do, I train the dog. So I punish the dog with training, but with things that it knows. First of all, I don't put that dog in that situation that it will get stressed. So if I know if my dog is reactive to other dogs, I wouldn't put that dog in a situation that it reacts to other dogs. Second of all, if I see that for some reason, somehow we ended up in a situation that it's reacting to other dog, and we came across another dog and is reacting, I would walk away. I wouldn't punish my dog. And then what I would do is I would train my dog. So I would make sure that I have put aside time and money and effort to train my dog, teach my dog sit, stay, come, for example. Remember, these are the three most important commands that you want to teach your dog. I will teach my dog sit, stay, calm. And during the situation that my dog is behaving certain way, which is unwanted, what I would do is I would make my dog, in a way, punish my dog using sit, stay, calm. I'll practice sit and stay and calm with my dog. Why? Because my dog not only associates, if I react to that dog, my human is putting me to do sit and stay and calm, then next time I'm not going to react. So positive reinforcement. Second of all, I'm training my dog. Third of all, this is the most important one. I'm redirecting that focus of my dog, focusing on the dog that is causing it to react, to me, to me. I'm making my dog to focus on me, get information from me, get my energy, feed my energy, my relaxed, calm, positive energy to my dog, and tell my dog, here's what you're going to do. Instead of reacting to that dog, focus on me. I'll feed you what you need to learn, and I'll feed you what you should be feeling. That dog is not danger. In your mind, you may be sensitive about that dog, but focus on me. I'll help you. I'll teach you. I'll feed you what you need to learn. Once you do that, you'll see your dog is going to be not only non-reactive to other dogs, is going to be more connected to you in other forms, right? So I hope that makes sense. Um, I went a little bit too long. It's my passion. I love to talk about this stuff, and it's something that I think many dog owners need to focus on these things. And again, wandering the blank. Great question. I thank you for asking that question. By the way, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask questions. I'm willing to answer and talk about it because it is very important. Talk about it. This is something that I'm passionate, and I would talk about it until I have the energy and I can talk. So, one in the blanket says, "Feel free to keep talking." I appreciate the answer. You're welcome. Yes. So, originally, going, I was talking about Christmas dogs and whether you should get a dog or a puppy during the Christmas holidays during this time. Christmas is around the corner. So one of the main reasons that I said that I don't agree getting a dog or a puppy in this season is the weather. So um, I think it was who was it? Tammy. I think it was Tammy who lives in Calgary, and it's snowing there. So that gives that's the idea. Yes, that's the idea. First of all, you want a King Retro. Hold on a second. I'll answer that question. So first of all, um, yes, the weather is the problem. It's so hard to potty train. Second of all, your family is too busy and too focused on other stuff. Puppy is not that important, and puppy won't have a good opportunity to be raised in that environment. You don't want to raise a puppy in that stressful environment. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a few minutes. But King Retro Butter, interesting name. That is King Retro Butter, is asking another good question. What is your opinion on shock collars? In my opinion, when you start depending and using tools, including food, treats, tools like shock collars, prong collars, choke chain collars, even any tools like halters, muzzles. Muzzles not much. Muzzles are good because you want to prevent the dog from physically injuring another dog. But in general, when you depend on tools and gadgets, you're limiting yourself. You're disconnecting yourself from the dog. You're saying, you know what, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm going to use this tool to deal with it, to help me to get over this issue. Now, think about this. I want you to think about this way. Why is it that you want to use shock collar? What is the reason? Joshua, yes, sorry. Tammy is correcting me. That was Joshua in Alberta. Yes. King Retro Butter, can you give me an example? Why would you use shock collar? I'll use an example of, let's say your dog is reactive to other dogs. Let's use this popular excuse, popular reason. Your dog is aggressive towards other dogs, and that's the reason why you're using shock collars. If your dog is aggressive and reactive to other dogs, again, think about it this way. Your dog is communicating how it feels in that situation. Okay? Maybe other dogs are causing your dog to be aggressive. Maybe other dogs are causing your dog to be anxious. Maybe your other dogs are causing your dog to be stressed. And why is that your dog is uh, feeling that way? Can you guess why is your dog feeling that way when it sees another dog's? Can anybody guess why is it that, let's say we have aggressive reactive dogs that sees another dog or a cat or a person? Why is it that is reacting? Tammy is saying fear. Very good one. Good answer. Yes. King Retrobutter is saying scared. Yes. Yes. Very good answers. Those the other dogs are causing your dog to have a fear and be scared of other dogs, right? The reason your dog is reacting that way, would you consider a clicker a tool? Is a clicker accepted? Okay, let me answer that in a moment, Joshua. I'll answer that in a moment. Let me explain the shock collar. When your dog is feeling that way, basically, if your dog is feeling that way with whatever it sees, let's say cat or dog or a human, it becomes scared. The reason it's feeling that way is because it's focused on something that it causes it to fear or be scared. Instead, you want to turn this fear, this dog to you, so it can get information from you, so it can learn that whatever it was, it won't scare it. You have to make sure that the dog is getting cues from you. When your dog is reacting, is 100% focused on that dog. It's not focused on you. That is the problem. It's not focused on you. It's focused on whatever it's causing it to behave that way, or fear that way, or be scared, right? So you have to make sure that the dog is focused on you. Now, when you use shock collar, your dog gets shocked and says, that dog now not only it causes me to be afraid, now it causes me pain as well. So you're adding another layer to the problem. So not only your dog is now afraid of other dogs, it's focused on that situation and that dog. On top of that, it's getting pain as well. It's feeling pain. So that dog now, uh, your dog is associating that dog with fear, right? So it's associating that dog, it not only causes me fear and scaredness and all that emotional feelings that I feel about that dog. On top of that, I am feeling pain as well. So that dog, it means causes me pain, to feel pain. And on top of that, I'm not even focused on my owner. So you're disconnecting your dog from yourself from the dog completely. You're relying on the tool to fix the problem. And when you do that, you're creating an unhealthy relationship between you and your dog, because you are saying, you know what, I give up. I don't know what to do. It's your problem. You deal with it. I'm going to let this tool deal with that problem. Let that tool take care of this situation. And yes, it may stop the dog. Most of the time when the dog is wearing a shock collar and it's barking and you gets shocked, because it causes pain, it stops and maybe it looks at you, what the hell was that, right? But it goes back to that, and next time you have to use it again and again, and every time you have to use that, and again you have to every time rely on that tool, next time, next time, next time. You're never solving the core issue, which is basically the dog is not focused on you. You have to be the source of information for your dog. You have to invest time money, effort, and knowledge to your dog. You have to tell your dog, okay, I understand you're afraid of that dog or that cat or that person. Let me help you to deal with it. Focus on me. Pay attention to me. I'll give you the information. But most dogs who are aggressive and reactive to other dogs, 99.9% of the time, or even 100% of the time, this is the dog owner and this is the dog. The dog is completely forced and focused forward. It's not looking at the human. It's focused forward and is barking and growling and attacking another dog. And if you put the shock collar or stop the dog by pulling the leash, the dog may even return, instead of focusing on you, may even fight you, might even bite you, it might even get involved physically with you, because the dog gets to that level of extreme so-called red zone, to the point that the dog says, you know what, I am done with this. I want to kill that dog. I'm done. So it turns around and wants to kill you so it can get to the other dog. You know what I mean? Becomes crazy. That's how you develop a crazy dog. That's how you help a dog to become a lunatic, because you're not helping it. You're adding more salt to the wound by using shock collars. And I hate using shock collars because we're depending on tool. And the other thing that you want to realize, this is something no other dog trainer talks about. Nobody talks about it. I don't know if anybody talks about it. I haven't heard anybody talk about it except one person, Dr. Peter Dubias. When you shock a dog, you're adding electrical currencies in your dog's body. EMF. You're adding EMF to your dog, where your dog does not need these electrical currencies in their body, and causes these electrical shocks, causes a lot of complications in their system. It causes them to have health issues. It causes them to have mental issues. It causes them to have cancer, even cancer. But because you're using shock collar, imagine adding extra electric currencies in your body where you actually don't need it. So cell phones are EMF, right? Shock collars also are EMF. You know what I mean? So you're adding extra things in their system, which it will cause them to have, complications in other department of their health and body. So on top of that you're causing your dog to get stressed, to get pain, to feel disconnected from you, you're causing it to have health issues as well. So these are why I do not recommend using shock collars, and I do not suggest you to depend on tools in general. Focus on teaching your dog to focus on you. You should be the source of information and acknowledgement, and also reward of your dog. Not treats, not food, not shock collars, not choke chain collars, not prong collars, no tools. You have to be the one. You have to be the source of everything for your dog. And your dog, here's the kicker. Your dog has been designed and bred to do that, to be focused on you, to live with humans. Humans bred, design, and produce dogs for humans. We created them. We developed them. A good breeder will create a good dog. The dogs that you see that are misbehaving or driving you crazy, There are two reasons why that happens. One is because they were bred in puppy mills, an environment that is not suitable for a dog to be born and be raised, or dog owners who are using wrong methods, wrong tools to train their dogs. There are two reasons, the main two reasons why dogs become that way. Puppy mill dogs are born in and raised in an environment that has no connection to other dogs, no connections to another human being. They don't know what love is. They don't know what humans are. They don't know why they are there. And when you buy a puppy like that, especially around this time, around Christmas time, most dogs who you buy, 90% of them are coming from puppy mills, unless you're buying it from legitimate dog breeder. 90% of dogs are coming from puppy mills. Therefore, you're going to have a bad dog. So this is why I'm very passionate and compassionate about, and I wanted to talk about this around this time. Don't buy a dog. Don't get a dog, because most of the time, when you buy a dog around this time, these are the dogs who are born and raised in puppy mills, and you're supporting puppy mills. What do you do in this around this time? I'll let you know in a moment what you should do if you want to get a dog. But let me answer um, Joshua's question as well. But would you consider clicker a tool? Is a clicker acceptance to incorporate into training? Clicker is a tool that has been used for training dogs, but originally was made to train dolphins, not dogs. Now, the problem that I have with clicker is I don't really think of it as bad, but the way it's been used is the wrong way. The reason for that is clickers, it adds another way of confusion between you and the dog, because the style of clicker training is you wait until your dog does the behavior that you want, let's say sits, and then you click it, and then you feed the dog. You give the treat to the dog. So it's an extra step, right? So the dog sits, clicks, here's the clicker, and then feed, gets a treat. And then you have to wait until this repeats again. Many dog owners get, I mean, even me, I'm a dog trainer, I get confused which one is which one I have to go. I had seen many dog owners I see in the parks. They're trying to train their dog. The dog is reacting or barking, wants to go and play, and the owner is clicking, click, 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 and then the dog is not doing anything. So, and then the owner is treating the dog. So it becomes a wrong way of training dogs. I don't think you need to use clickers. Instead of clickers, you can use yes or no. You can word it. You can say, Rover, sit, good boy. No, good girl. No, easy. It's you. That's the goal I want to share with you. You have to connect with your dog. The main reward of your dog should be you. You should be the force and the focus of the dog. Use your voice, use your interaction with the dog rather than treats and clickers and that. Clickers, I would say, again, it's not a negative thing, but I think you can use it only when you want to use a complicated trick to a dog. It's mainly used in TV movie industry where they want to teach a dog a complicated routine. So they want, for example, the dog to um, go sit by the window, get out of the window, get out of the house, and go and chase the car. So this is a long, complicated um, task for the dog to do. It's not just to sit, right? So it's complicated task for the dog to do. So when it comes to that level of complex routine for a dog, yes, you need additional tools and techniques. That's where I think it's mostly beneficial to have clickers. But in daily life, in regular, normal people's life, when you have a dog, I don't suggest to use clickers. Unless you want to go to that level with your dog that is really high level of training, then you can use clickers. I think clickers can be used done if it's used properly. Again, you have to learn the rhythm of it. Not many people get learn it properly. You have to wait for the behavior, click and treat, which first of all, you're adding another tool. Second of all, you're treat training your dogs. Third of all, you're adding another step in your training, which has become a little bit complicated and confusing for you and the dog. So for that reason, I suggest not to use it. There are trainers, they say, oh, it's the best tool to use it. I disagree. I don't suggest it. It's up to you. If you think that you can benefit from it, go ahead and use it. But it's not a tool that I would use or I would suggest. I hope that answers your question, Joshua. Tammy says, well, never knew that either. Good question and answers. Very good. Yes, amen. King Retro Butter is asking, thanks, Saro. My dad was talking about getting a shock collar, and I was like, no, it will hurt him, and it's wrong too. I will show my dad this. I did not know about this information. Thank you, Saro. Thank you for learning this, and definitely share this video with your dad. Definitely let him know and let him understand the consequences of using a tool like that. I want to say shock collars are for lazy dog trainers. Unfortunately, that's what it is. So around this time, again, we think about getting a dog, right? So I don't want you to buy a dog because, first of all, the weather is the problem. Second of all, you will get a dog who was born in the puppy mills. And, you know, whether you buy it from the store or you get it from a backyard breeder, it's a puppy mill dog, guaranteed. Okay. If you're going to get a dog, get it from a legitimate puppy breeder. Legitimate puppy breeder would be very careful about who they are giving the dog to, who they are giving the puppy to. They will be asking thousands of questions. They will make sure that you are the right person for their puppy because they want their puppies are their baby. Their puppies are literally their family. Legitimate puppy breeders, legitimate dog breeders, it's their puppy. Their puppy is their baby. They don't want to give their baby away to anybody. They want to make sure this somebody who's coming to request to get their puppy is going to take care of their puppy properly. So they will be careful and they will ask you thousands of questions, which I recommend you to answer them all because it not only makes make sure that you're ideal for the puppy, but also that puppy breeder makes sure that you are the right person for that dog. And if you're going to get a dog, get it from a legitimate puppy breeder. And the other best thing that you can do is foster a dog. During this time, if you're feeling like you want to have a dog, you can foster a dog, you can foster a senior dog. The benefits are tremendous. If you foster a dog, it gives you an opportunity to test drive. Like, when you're buying a car, you go for a test drive, right? It gives you an opportunity to test drive your dog to see if you can have a dog at your home with your lifestyle. the good thing about fostering a dog is most of the rescue organization, legitimate rescue organizations like A Voice for Paws in North Vancouver, go A Voice for Paws. They're one of the best rescue organizations. I work with them. If you find a legitimate rescue organization, they will lend you the dog. They will make sure that, again, you are the right person to foster the dog. They will lend you the dog. You can look after this dog and test it to see if it's a good idea to have a dog in your home. Can you handle, for example, the hairs that your dog is going to be shedding in the house? Are you going to like it? Are you going to like to have a dog in your life? Are you going to, is it working out? Can you look after the dog? Can you walk the dog? Can you feed the dog? Do you like feeding the dog? Do you like picking up doggy poop? You know, all these things. Uh, do you like going out in the rain when it's raining, when it's snowing, when it's hot? Do you like walking the dog, which you have to? You test drive the dog. You see if you're capable of having a dog. So instead of buying a dog, foster it during this time, during this season. You're helping a dog to be homed, you know, uh, be, have a home, have a shelter during this time. And also, it gives you an idea of whether it's realistic to have a dog or not. And then, if you see, okay, it doesn't work. No, I hate dogs. I hate walking dogs. I hate picking up dogs' poop. I hate doing this and that. Then you return the foster dog to the rescue organization. They're gladly take it back. And you are clear now whether you want to have a dog in this stage of your life or not. Maybe later on, it's a good idea to have a dog. And later on, you can again test it to see if you're ready or not. But let's say if you liked it, you like having the hair on your clothes, the doggy fur on your clothes. You like, picking up doggy poops. You like feeding the dog. You like all these things, right? Then you can either keep that dog, or you can literally go get a dog or adopt a dog. Possibilities are endless. The other benefits of adopting a dog during this season and adopting a dog, let's say an older dog or senior dog, is that you don't have to potty train the dog. You don't have to train a dog at all. Maybe basics you have to work on and things like that. You learn things, right? You learn whether it's the right choice to make or not. So adopting a dog is the best thing to do instead of buying a dog. Don't buy a dog as a gift or a puppy as a gift for somebody that you love. Instead, get a gift card that you can adopt or foster a dog. That is the best choice that you can make. Let's say you even go and adopt a dog. Okay, most adoption rescue organizations, even if it doesn't work, they will take your dog back. Again, make sure that you're dealing with legitimate either dog breeders or dog rescue organizations, and you will get tremendous amount of benefits out of it. um, Tammy says, I use the bags from the grocery stores to pick up my dog poo. Agree. Yes. Uh, yeah. I mean, recycle, right? Why not? So things like that. You learn how to live with a dog when you rescue a dog. So um, we have come almost to the end of the live show. I hope you guys really enjoyed this live broadcast. If there are any other questions, please feel free to ask me, and I will answer them. I'm gonna hang out still. Um, It's a holiday today, so I'm kind of relaxed and happy to be here. Nothing rushed, and I just have some work to do. Um, as a personal dog trainer, and personally, I work all the time. Whether it's a holiday or not, I work all the time, and I love what I do. But um, dogs are dogs are always involved in my life, so I love having dogs all the time around me. And having a dog is not. I don't want to deter you from not getting a dog. I as a dog trainer, dog owner myself, uh, it's like, I don't want to sound like a salesman, the car salesman who's saying don't buy this car. No, no, it's not that. I'm not saying don't get a dog. I would love everybody to have a dog. Dogs make every life better. It makes you to focus on things, small things. It helps you to become a better person. It makes you to become a better human being when you have a dog. It's great. It's great to have a dog. It makes you to care for something that it's literally needs you 24/7. It makes you to love life. It's great to have a dog, but I highly suggest you and I highly recommend you and want to make sure that you don't get a dog at this time of the year just because of pure pressure. You know, I don't want you to be thinking, okay, it's Christmas time and my kids or me or my wife or my husband want to have a dog and let's get a dog. Not just because of that. Don't get it because everybody gets a dog. This is not the ideal time to get a dog. The ideal time, to be honest with you, to get a dog is spring because the weather is nice, everything is fresh, everything is clean, life begins, refreshes. It's the best time to get a dog, to get a puppy especially, and potty train your puppy. It's much easier to potty train a puppy in spring than in winter, obviously. Why would you work against that? Nature is telling you this is not the time to get a dog. Nature is telling you get a dog when the the winter is over. Spring is the best time to start thinking about a dog, getting a dog, because you don't have to deal with weather issues. The other thing is you're not focused on families, family gatherings and activities during the Christmas. You're relaxed, more relaxed. So yeah, focus on getting the dog, but at the right time, not just any time, not just because also it's Christmas and it's time of the year that everybody gets a present, everybody gets a dog. It's a wrong state of mind to get a dog. And if you are really, really desperate to get a dog, try to foster or adopt a dog, test drive a dog, give a life give a support to a rescue organization, give a support to a dog, support them, let them benefit from you, and you will benefit from that experience. And if it's the right dog, you keep the dog. If it's not the right dog, you return the dog. Win-win situation. Joshua is saying, Tammy is saying, Amen. Amen. Thank you. Joshua is saying, this has been an amazing. Thank you. I will be looking into your online training for our puppy in future. I love your philosophy of training and building a bond with your dog. Appreciate that. Thank you for your feedback. That is the most beautiful feedback that I have heard so far. And that is the reason why I do this. The reason why I share this information and this channel is to give you this, to empower you to have this knowledge and understanding that this is how it should be. You have to be bonding with your dog. Dog training is not to teach the dog to sit and stay. That's not it. is to build a bond with an animal, with a creature that is more than love. It's very very emotional for me to talk about these dogs. They touch our lives in ways that no other things touches, in a way that it's more powerful, it's more amazing. It's much more amazing to have a dog relationship than with a human, I believe. And I'll give you an example. A few years ago, I lost my dad. Also, a few years ago, I lost Jonah, my beagle. The way I felt when I lost my dog was way more traumatic, way more emotional than when I lost my dad. Not that I didn't love my dad. I loved my dad. I loved it. I loved him. I still love him. He was the best dad in the world. But for some reason, I felt uh, more lost, more uh, um, even I can't describe the feelings. That I was more emotional when I lost my dog a year or two after I lost my dad than when I lost my dad. My dad, you know, it's nature. They come, humans come and go, and that's how what happens with dogs too. They come and go, but when they are gone, it's just it's like hits you like a bomb. It because you're with them and they're with you 24/7, and you just lose a best friend, a best thing in the world. And i'm still I'm still, even though it's been few years I've lost Jonah, I'm still grieving. I still haven't got over it. I still mourn. I still think about him all the time. Everything that I do, it reminds me of Jonah. Every move that I make, it reminds me of Jonah. Me and my wife, we always say, yeah, Jonah used to do this. Jonah used to sound like that. Jonah this, that. It's all the time. Yeah. Whereas my dad, I have memories. I'm thinking about him and I miss him, but I miss my dog even more. I don't know. There's some special relationship between our dogs and us, and I want you to have the same feelings with your dogs, the same emotions, and it only happens when you use the right way of building a connection with your dog. It only happens when you choose the right choices, choose the right move, choose the right method, choose the right style of building a relationship with your dog. And once you do that, it's amazing. And I still have a beagle now. I have Harvey the beagle, um, and he is also amazing. He is the best dog in the world. And I think, as a beagle owner myself, many beagle owner and a beagle trainer and a dog trainer, many beagle owners, they contact me and they say, how the hell did you train your beagle to do all these, be off leash, be so well behaved? It's because I focused on the right thing. I focused on training my beagles in a way that they bonded with me, they connected with me, we had strong connection. I didn't depend on treats or food or tools to train them. I depended on relationship. And once you build that relationship and once you focus on that, you will get great results. And treats and foods are, it's not that I don't give treats or food to my dog. I feed them and I use treats for just for no reason. I give treats just because, not because I'm training. I don't want my beagles and my dogs to see me as to give me what I want because I'm giving them treats. I want them to give me what I want because we have a healthy relationship. And once you build that, everything changes. Not only it changes the way you have that relationship with your dog, it changes your life. It changes the way you look at life in overall. And it's beautiful. And I want to thank you so much for being here, everybody. I'm going to go through the names: Joshua, Tammy. Um, there were Wonder in the Blanket. Great questions. Um, who else was here? Fabian was in. Fabian was here. There was somebody else as well. Let me see if I can find. King Retro Butter was here as well. I hope I'm not missing anybody else, but if I do, I'm so sorry. And I hope to see you guys next time in the live session. If you enjoyed this video, and please, please share King Retro Butter. Yes, please share this video with everybody that you can, not only for them to learn about dog training, but also understanding the concept of this video was for me to share was to make sure that dog owners don't get a dog at this time of the year just because they want to get a present. Make sure that you share this video with all other dog owners, whoever is interested in getting dog. Please share this video and make sure to subscribe to my channel too. If you haven't yet, click the subscribe button and click the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I go live or as soon as I post a video. And I want to thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate your time to spend with me. I had fun, I had a blast, and I will see you on the next video. Until next time, have fun with your dog.